the Jewish thing is a wild thing because it's a race that you can join.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's a
because
religion.
people think of it as a race.
Well,
They
you know
do.
why? Because Hitler thought of it that way, sure. Also, a lot of Zionists think of it that way. A bunch of Jewish people don't. You know, ultra-Orthodox Jews, which I always liked ultra because that's like the...
Right, but you have to accept that some people feel that Jewish is a race. Some people feel that Jewish is a race. Some people feel that Jewish is a race. Well, they're involved in fighting on their own shore every day.
Yeah, against people that they hate with, I would say, a racial thing, and I know it's real because I dated an Israeli girl for 10 years, and the whole top... Now, here's what I find. I think and please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think if I had converted, because that was like a big thing, like, you know, you're going to... And I think if I had, we could have moved to Israel, and I could claim my birthright of land.
Yeah. Well, you can move there. Like if
I
you're
could
an
have
American
converted.
Jew.
She has a dual citizenship. I could be wrong, but I'll bet you can do that.
I was told welcome home because I'm Jewish. Every single person who's Jewish that steps off the plane, especially for their first time in Israel, is told welcome home. Let's just sit with that for a second. This right here, this is my actual ancestry. I am 88% Ashkenazi Jewish, and none of my ancestors are from the Middle East.
Does having Jewish DNA determine your Jewish status? Great question. The answer is your Judaism is determined by your mother. If your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish according to traditional Judaism. Now, you could have a very high count of Jewish DNA, and that's awesome. That means you're connected to the Jewish people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're Jewish. Don't forget, there are people that convert to Judaism and then they have zero DNA and they're 100% Jewish.
If my ancestors from the Ukraine have Khazar roots, changes nothing. I'm Jewish. My grandfather was Jewish. My family happens to have a story saying that we're descended from the Baal Shem Tov. Okay, that's part of the culture. Doesn't matter what the DNA shows.
Well, you can move there. Like if
I
you're
could
an
have converted.
American Jew.
She has a dual citizenship. I could be wrong, but I'll bet you can do that.
Haven't American Jews gone over there to avoid prosecution?
A CBS News investigation has uncovered a loophole that allows accused and convicted American pedophiles to escape justice by moving to Israel. So Ian Lee has been following this for more than a year, and he traveled to Israel for this investigation. He worked with a group that tracks people accused of sex crimes, which estimates dozens of Americans have used this loophole.
So, you know, he's 6'2".
We are on a stakeout looking for this man, Jimmy Julius Caro, 48 years old and wanted on charges of sexually assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon back in 2000 and a 5-year-old girl in Israel in 2001. He's considered dangerous. But these photos are a few years old, so we don't know if he'll look the same. He remains elusive. Previous attempts to capture him have failed.
Obviously, the fear that he would somehow figure out that anyone's looking for him and bolt. He just called his number.
Shauna Aronson got a tip that Caro's expected at this clinic near Tel Aviv.
Who's going to call the
She's
police
with JCW, Jewish Community Watch, an organization that hunts down accused pedophiles who flee to Israel from the U.S., exploiting a process called Law of Return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship. The ease with which pedophiles seem able to use this law as an escape route haunts victims like Mendy Hawk, who says he was abused from age 8 by a teacher at an Orthodox Jewish school in Los Angeles.
So your classroom is right here. How does it feel being back?
I was very anxious and, stressed coming back here. And a lot of memories coming through my mind.
Memories of his alleged abuser, Mordechai Yom Tov, who taught him Hebrew studies when he was just 8 years old.
So in the beginning, he would just rub me like outside of my pants, and then I would say about 3 to 4 months later, he started going like in.
Reaching down your pants?
Yeah, it's reaching down.
Why did you feel like you couldn't tell anyone?
I was scared. I was ashamed. I didn't know what people would think of me, of the whole situation.
Yom Tov pled guilty in 2002 to sexually abusing and committing lewd acts against 3 other boys. He served jail time, but when he was released, he violated his probation and, according to JCW, fled to Israel with help from individuals within the Orthodox Jewish community. JCW tracked Yom Tov down and confronted him with a hidden camera in Jerusalem, where he admitted to illegally fleeing the United States with help and using a fake passport to enter Israel.
I was supposed to stay for 5 years in the same city. I was supposed to, let's see, trying to be on the side of the city. I was supposed to go every 2 weeks to the police station. I left within a week later.
He had this message for his victims.
I'm very, 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 very sorry.
The other person in this video is Meir Seawald, the founder of Jewish Community Watch. He tells CBS News Yom Tov's case isn't uncommon in the Orthodox community.
The same thing that's going on in the Catholic Church right now around the world, the exact same thing happens in our community. The rabbis say it's, you know what, he promised he's going to go for therapy, he's never going to do it again. Boom, he's in another community. A few years later, he's at the same thing, and we hear more allegations that the person continued to abuse children.
And often, those abusers end up in Israel.
Haven't American Jews gone over there to avoid prosecution?
Well, every country does that. I mean, that's.
But isn't that a thing? Like American Jews, if someone's coming after them in America?
I thought Meyer Lansky tried. Oh, am I thinking of The Godfather, where the guy had?
Yeah, right. No, Meyer Lansky, did he do that? But I think there's a thing. Applicants must meet one of the following requirements. 1, have at least 1 Jewish birth parent, or 2, have converted to Judaism. That's easy.
Well, my wife would have been that. Yeah.
You don't need to be religious to qualify to fit in our trips. In fact, many of our participants...
Oh, you're talking about birthright?
Yeah.
So he goes, that's what I'm saying. The ADL guy goes, we need the people that came up with birthright to put their heads on this TikTok thing.
Well, the Jewish thing is a wild thing because it's a race that you can join.
No, it's not.
Right?
It's a
because
religion.
people think of it as a race.
Well, you know why? Because Hitler thought of it that way, sure. Also, a lot of Zionists think of it that way. A bunch of Jewish people don't. You know, ultra-Orthodox Jews? Which I always liked ultra because that's like...
Right, but you have to accept that some people feel that Jewish is a race.
Called anti-Semites.
No, but there's like people that feel like there's a bunch of different races and Jewish is one of them.
I don't feel like that,
Jewish
no.
people, but it is a thing, right? It's a thing that some people believe, right?
Well, yes.
Yeah. It's a thing you can join?
Yeah.
Imagine if you could join being Asian.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg did it successfully. And she's never looked back. She called the Holocaust white on white crime. And she's she did. You don't remember that? Oh yeah,
she did. It was insane.
Basically, that's just some white people.
It wasn't about race. What?
Because she did the homework.
Then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race.
No, it's about a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about.
But it's about white supremacy. It's about
but
going
it's
after
not. It's
Jews
not about
and race.
But these are two white groups of people.
Well, they go after black people
see them as white people.
But you're missing the point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It's a problem. It doesn't matter if you're black or white, because black, white, Jews, everybody eats each other.
Well, joining us for our weekly segment, Bottom Line, is Allgemeiner CEO David Efune. So, David, let's jump right in. Genetically speaking, are Jews white?
Well, Natasha, it's important to understand, firstly, the intense sensitivity that this question has for the Jewish community. And actually, it's coming up at a personally very relevant time for me. Today is the anniversary of the passing of my great-grandfather, David Weinstock, who was arrested by the Nazis in Vienna in September 1939. And he was taken to the anthropological department at the Vienna Museum of Natural History, and he was subjected to, together with 440 other Jews, to degrading tests and measurements because he was considered by the Nazis to be of an inferior race. So it really is the height of irony and insult that when Jews express concern about anti-Semitism being ignored and a blindness to anti-Semitism, they're then lumped into the white category.
I want to get Dr. Meyer's opinion on this. Classifying it as white Jew, because we know there's black Jews, you know. How does that make you feel? How does that initially hit you when I say, yeah, you know, if I said black and white Jewish relations?
I guess that's mostly what I deal with is in my courses is those interactions. I think again in America most Jews are Ashkenazic Jews who are white. I think again in America most Jews are Ashkenazic Jews who are white. I think again in America most Jews are Ashkenazic Jews who are white. Sometimes part of the problem between the two communities is that some people will take advantage of that. Will use their whiteness as a way of promoting themselves, as a way of integrating themselves into whatever community they want to be in by removing themselves and denigrating themselves from some other community. Right. I find that problematic.
It's a thing you can join?
Yeah.
Imagine if you could join being Asian.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg did it successfully. And she's never looked back. She called the Holocaust white on white crime, and she's
She did.
You don't remember that? Oh
yeah,
yeah.
She did. It was insane.
Basically, that's just some white people.
It wasn't about race. What?
Because
What?
she did the homework of anti-racism that she was. You were supposed to read those dumb buff books that no one believes, by the way, anymore. It's done. You're supposed to learn that anti-racism. Anti-racism is that it's impossible.
Is that done?
Oh, it's
Everybody's done with anti-racism?
No. There's still people embedded like ticks that are, but it's over.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.